Yo, what's up, everybody? Hopefully everybody's having a great week, beginning to a great week anyway. Um, let's see, let me get this right here. All right, hopefully you guys can hear me. Good, good. All right. Anyway, um, cool. I know it's Monday, and we're not used to getting this going on a Monday. I just wanted to get on here and touch bases with everybody and say that we are about to begin our live feeds for the podcast again on Fridays. I'm super stoked. Hope you guys are too. Don't forget, tune-ins are Friday, 7 o'clock, unless something changes or something's going on. I will see you guys here on Spotify, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. So, yeah, going to be interesting stuff. A lot of crazy things going on. I know I kind of jumped the gun and went live. I think it was on Friday night because a lot of stuff that was going on in the news. And yeah, I just, was throwing some questions out there, trying to pick everybody's brain and figure out what everybody was feeling and how you guys were thinking about all the craziness that's going on. I know, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, but it seems like a lot of things are unfolding at a time when we, weren't really expecting things to go down the way that they're going down. And, they did. That, as it may be, what are your guys' thoughts? What are your feelings towards all this stuff that's happening? I mean, it's really insane. I don't understand how, things can happen the way they are. It just seems so unreal. It doesn't seem real. Got Chat GPT on here. Anyway, yeah, I had let me see if I can get this. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here and say hello. Feels good to be back on. Glad we're gonna get this thing going. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Um, I don't even know if the chats are working. Hopefully they are. It's working on The Secret of the Unknown on Facebook and on YouTube. That's it. That's usually where it usually happens. It's just on those two platforms. I don't know why it won't let anybody comment on TikTok or anything else. I'm pretty sure you can get on there, but I won't see it. Anyway, I just thought I'd get on here, say howdy, let everybody know that we're going to be getting this thing cracking again. Fridays at 7. If you guys have any topics or anything that you guys want to discuss or issues or something that is concerning you, I just had a really crazy conversation with my buddy Jimmy, who happened to show me a picture that he found online, and was blown away because it looks just like his son. Now, mind you, this picture was of 1974 and his son was born in 2008, which is weird. But like I said, the similarities are uncanny. It's crazy. Actually, when I thought he was showing it to me, I thought it was actually a picture of his son. I was like, wow, dude, I thought it was like you showing me a picture of you, and like, wow, your son looks just like you. It's just weird. But anyway, yeah, got into a good conversation with a buddy of mine, who had read one of my posts on Facebook that I had posted, and kind of got off on a tangent of a rant, but I think for the most part it was misconstrued in a way that came off really but ow. For anybody who knows me completely understands that I am in no way, shape, or form an atheist type person where I don't believe in the existence of a creator. I just don't believe in the creator that was portrayed or given to us in the form and the manner in which it was presented. My understanding and my thought process has totally gone from the seeking or the searching for this creator, who we have all been told was something external. And I'm not going to get in deep into it, because this is like not the place to do it. So, I mean, if anybody's got any questions or any thoughts on why a drastic change has, happened, or why I understand or feel the things that I do, go ahead and message me. It's cool. We'll talk about it. But I did not feel the need to have to explain something if you didn't understand or get what was being said and what I was saying, and took it as a threat religiously, then you are missing the entire point. Because for a lot of people who are waking up or realizing that we have been duped by a system that has completely gotten control of putting people in that scenario. Um, and totally misconstruing the information or the sayings or the teachings of someone who was sent here to lead us from that very mind or thought process. But we still find ourselves in that mind process today, being controlled by the very things that he came to teach us and take us away from. Um, it's very, I mean, I've said it many times, is that you can tell people and explain a lot of things to them, but until, excuse me, they have understood, because once you're in something so deep and you don't open yourself up to the fact that there are other things that reveal themselves. I mean, like I said, this is like going into things that I don't want to be going into, but just trying to describe it in a way where it is, I'm not defending myself, because I don't think I need to defend myself to anybody. I just think that, I want people to understand, I'm never, I did not create this podcast to be a sort of, I would never, like I said, I grew up in the church since I was 5 years old. So anybody who's going to come at me and start saying things about, heaven and hell, and, I'm going to burn in a lake of fire or whatever, or, it's just a deceit of the devil, I don't want to hear it, because it's just nonsense to me. Because that, like I said, I've taken my thought process out of that whole situation of thinking, because it's totally not the whole aspect of what, coming to understand what the true teachings or the true meanings of what Yahshua was really trying to tell us. And that in and of itself is where we need to get the root form back to, of understanding is that the taking away of the power that is in that name, his true name, and putting it into something that was adapted or used in the 15th century, later on, takes the power away from that name, the literal translation of who he is and what he is. That being said, number one, so like I said, I don't want to get into this whole rant rave. I wanted to get on here and just, share that with everybody, because like I said, I'm the last person that anybody wants to sit here and don't take what I'm saying as I'm bashing people for their faith, because like I said, I grew up in church. I went through the whole spiel my whole life. So I've been there, I know it, I've done it. I'm not saying that. But for me, and so many others who have come to the realization of awakening and understanding the true nature and the meaning and the understanding of the path or the things that we are going through, or have come to look and understand through seeking the knowledge and the wisdom, the true understanding of what was being said and what was being taught. Because it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God. And what did he say? The kingdom of heaven is not outside of you, it is within you. The deeper meaning of what he was trying to teach us and the life lessons that he was trying to bring forward to people to help them get away from these establishments. I mean, the man literally went into the synagogue okay, and flipped tables over and told the Sadducees and Pharisees to their face, you who put yourself above these people because you exalt yourself to think that you are the children of God, will be the last ones to ever see the kingdom. They will seek the kingdom of heaven before you do. That should tell people something, is that the nature in and of itself of what we see as an establishment is what he was trying to get us away from. And leading that true lifestyle, finding what we need within us. Because he would tell his apostles one thing, right? When you see me, you see the Father. And if you see me, you know the Father. Because he's within us. Him being the representation of the Creator. As he said to everybody, the apostles, the things you see me do and the things that you have come to see, that you have witnessed yourself, you yourself have the power to do. Not only will you do greater than I do, but there will be others who come after I'm gone that will do even greater things. Anyway, so as I said, it just is something that, as I said, I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of family members. I've lost people that have just been like, you're talking nonsense. You're speaking this heresy. But I digress. As I said, it is the understanding of a lot of people who have come to this realization that even Jesus, Yahshua, who walked this earth 2,000 years ago to bring messages of spiritual freedom and liberation from the traditional bonds that held the very people who were his kinsmen. But he knew that they were not going to accept what he had to say, because he knew that what he was bringing, he knew they were going to crucify him for it, because it was blasphemy. He was bringing a new way of thinking, a new understanding, a breaking away of the traditional. He said, I come to bring the new covenant. The old ways are gone. The new ways have come. Tear this temple down, and in 3 days I will build it. I've anybody who has been following me on this page, I've talked a lot about personal transformations or understandings of things that have come to me that I've always had feelings or inclinations about growing up. My whole thought process of reincarnation. I don't believe that when we die, that's it, that you just linger. For some people, that might be the case because of your thought process. That is probably just something that you're having to go through in your life cycle and of understanding. But for me, I've always had that inclination that something was off. And when I came to find out the truth smack dab in my face, I knew it. It was real to me because I had felt it all my life. And when it came to fruition, the truth of what I felt, I knew. And that in and of itself opened up more, because I knew there was more to this. There was more to this life, the understanding of who we are, what we are, why we're here. Um, the deception that keeps control over us, over humanity, that has been this control, this deceit to keep human beings in a bondage sort of situation, not only just physically, mentally, but spiritually. Um, and doing research and looking into things and reading books and reading texts and talking to people in other cultures and other countries and asking them, what is your guys' perspective on life, on spiritualism and religion? And people say we don't see ourselves bound to one set religion, but we see ourselves as a whole, as humanity, that the path that we have must take is one that we have to take together. And people have just been brought away from that notion of the deception of being bound and set in um, these cultures, these cults of deceit and being bound to this site of, it's my way or the highway, you know, and people get set apart from that, and it leads them further away from the true nature of what was being said by these great men who came to unite everybody. If we would only understand that we are all the same, that we all live, we all die. But while we're here, the importance of being unified and being together is what makes us and what drives us to push and persevere forward, because we can't do it apart. We have to bond together. We have to understand that this journey that we are on, if we elevate and we raise our vibrations together instead of being separately controlled by these entities, these factions that tell us that if somebody is saying something or doing something that is not aligned with what we are telling you, it is wrong. That is the same spewing nonsense that they were telling the disciples, and they were telling Joshua, and they were telling the followers of Buddha, and everybody else that was listening to these holy men or women that were coming forth and trying to tell everybody something about love, compassion, meditation, enlightenment. It was heresy. It was blasphemy. It was deception. We need to burn these people at the stake. We need to burn these books. We need to get rid of this stuff, because if we let these people get the notion of this whole new age thing, we're going to lose control of these people. And as I said, I mean, it's gotten to the point where I remember growing up and being in the 90s and going to a lot of Christian concerts, Carmen, Newsboys, uh, DC Talk, and I was just having a conversation with my mom, and I told her, I said, the drive for the passion of healing and understanding, if it was as important as it was when we were growing up as kids by these people and these groups and these pastors and these religious leaders that were passionate about teaching the true nature of what Joshua was saying, the drive for people to become more spiritually awakened would be great. But it's gotten far from that, because you don't see the outreach for people in the streets. You don't see the outreach for people outside of these mega churches. You've got these pastors with these yachts and these mansions and these planes and all of this money. Joshua said, you cannot serve two masters. You either serve one or the other. You can't be lukewarm. You're either hot or you're cold. My thing is this. It's just like the parable that he told about the rich man. The rich man came to him and said, Master, how can I be born again? How can I enter into the kingdom of heaven? Joshua looked at him and he told him, sell everything that you own and follow me. How can I give up everything that my father has worked so hard for and given to me? I have a reputation to keep. I'm a wealthy man. There's no doubt that you're a good man, but it is the things that make you a good man that you put your faith in, besides following the true path of enlightenment and spirituality. That is lacking because your attention is on something else. He says, I can't do that. That's your choice. And for a lot of people, it's hard for them to do those things. It's hard for them to stop. It's hard for them to say no. It's hard for them to break free and understand that this whole world is just an illusion. That the beginning of birth to the time we die is a lesson. It's a learning process. It's a way for us to understand that we have to make these decisions, make these karmic changes in our life, in our life cycles, in order to break this down, in order to say, I am going to change this notion in myself, and I'm going to make these changes within me. So that way I don't have to come back and repeat this all over again. Yahshua said, there's nothing that is going into heaven that has not already been there. We have all come from the essence of the Creator. We're all going to return to it. But we all have to answer for what we've done. You're either going to make it right, or you're going to live with the suffering of knowing that you hurt people and have to come back and change it again. I think, to me, what I believe is that this earth is hell. We might think that we're free. We might think that we have this security. Any moment, we could die. Any moment. Tomorrow's not promised to anybody. That's what he said. The fear of knowing that I could walk outside of my house and die without people knowing that I love them, that I care about them. Will they know how much I appreciate them? That scares me. That is why I tell my kids, the people that I care about, my friends, my family, I love you guys. As I said, this world to me is hell. We live, we're born into it. We go through life's lessons. People either get broke, get torn down. They let life get to them. They let it keep them there, and they never rise from it. And they're made to relive this process all over again in their next cycle until they get it right. Or some people progress. They learn from their life lessons. They rise above it. They elevate their frequencies, and they continue on, and they make it to where they don't have to make those karmic decisions because they've corrected them, and they can enjoy their life after this. But as I said, that's just me. That's just me. That's just how I see it. And so many others have come to see it that way as well. Anyway, I'm just ranting and raving. Hope everybody's having a good week. A good start to the week anyway. And yeah, I will see you guys here Friday, right? It's 4-day weekend. 3-day. Holy smokes. 3-day weekend. Try and get some rest. But anyway, you guys take it easy. I'll see you, and we're going to hit it out with the podcast intro. See ya.